Hello guys, in this video we're going to talk about integers and float, numeric data in Python. Dealing with different types of information is one of the most important topics in any programming language because their duty is handling data. There are different types of data around us. For example, the price of a product, the distance between 2 points, the number of employees in a company. This information that I said is classified into different categories. For instance, imagine the distance between 2 points and the number of employees in a company. The distance between 2 points can be any number, even decimal. But the number of employees in a company is always an integer. There are 3 distinct numeric types in Python: integers, float point numbers, and complex numbers. In Python, integers are 0, positive, or negative, whole numbers without the fractional part and having unlimited precision. For example, 0, 100, and -10. Float numbers are 0, positive, and -2, but they are real numbers with a fractional part denoted by the decimal symbol. For example, 3.142. A complex number is a number with real and imaginary components. For example, 5 plus 6j is a complex number where 5 is the real component and 6 multiplied by j is an imaginary component. In this video, we're not going to talk about complex numbers and we are only looking at integers and floats. Before we get to the program, we need to talk about the specific function. Python has a built-in function called type, where we can see the data type of an object. Alright, let's give a few examples. For example, we want to know the type of number 5. We just need to print out type 5. Now let's run the program. As you can see, it returns that this is class int. Int is abbreviation for integer. Now, let's set this number to 5.4. If we run the program, we can see that now the type of this number is float. Let's have an example for complex types. Instead of printing a number, we must print out a complex type, like 5j. 5j is a combination of a number and a letter. Now, if we run the program, you can see that 5j is a complex type. Alright, now we're going to talk about arithmetic operators and how we do it in Python. These are elementary arithmetics. Now let's go ahead and run through each of these. First, let's try addition. If we print 3 plus 2, as we expected, the answer is 5. You see, these two numbers are integers and the answer is integer 2. Let's make another example and print 3 plus 2.5, an integer and a float. Let's see the answer. As you can see, the answer is 5.5, which is a float number. Alright, let's do it one more time and put 2.0 instead of 2.5. Do you think the answer will be float or integer? Well, the answer is float. So, we can conclude that the sum of an integer and a float is a float number. This is valid for all 4 elementary arithmetics: addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. Let's continue and give examples for other operators. Print 6 minus 1, the answer is 5. Now an example for multiplication, 6 multiplied by 2, the answer is 12. And an example for division, print 6 divided by 2. So, if you look at the output, you can see that the answer is 3.0, which means a float number. In Python 3, the division output is a float and the answer comes with decimal. If we want to drop the decimal, we have floor division. Floor division can be performed by adding 2 division signs. So if I run 6 divided by 2, we can see it drops the decimal and it's equal to 3. So 2 division signs means floor division. In fact, floor division means dividing and rounding down to the nearest integer. Okay, if you want to work with exponents and powers, we can use these 2 multiplication signs. So if we want to print 3 to the second power, we could just say 3 2 multiplication signs 2. And if I print that, we can see that this equals 9. The last operator is modular operator, which gives us a reminder after division. When a number is not divided by another number, for example 68 divided by 6, there will be a reminder. In this case, the reminder is 2 because 6 goes into the 68 11 times with 2 left over. Let's see another example. 4 mod 3 will have a reminder of 1 because 3 goes into the 4 once with 1 left over. This operator is very handy if you want to say a number is even or odd, because when you divided the number by 2, there are 2 possible reminders, 0 or 1. 0 means it's even and 1 means it's odd. See some more examples. 3 mod 2, the reminder is 1, print. 4 mod 2, we can see that the reminder is 0, which means 3 is an odd number and 4 is an even number. In order to work with numbers in Python, we need to be familiar with one of the mathematical principles called order of operations. Let's see an example. What do you think is the answer? If you know the right answer, you can skip this part. But if you don't, or you are confused and not sure what the right answer is, be sure to watch this section. Long ago, people agreed to follow rules when doing calculations. And they are: 1. Do things in parentheses first. 2. Do exponents like powers and roots. 3. Multiplication or division. 4. Addition or subtraction. So, as you can see, the answer is -40. If you have trouble memorizing this rule and it is difficult for you, you can use this acronym PEMDAS. Parentheses first, exponents, multiplication and division, addition and subtraction. Let's take this example in Python and see the answer. As you can see, the answer is -40. You see the answer has decimal. It's because of this division operator. As I said before, in Python 3, the division answer will come with a dot. Another common thing that you need to know about numbers is to use comparison. There are several logical operations in mathematics that you can implement in Python. These are arithmetic operators: greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, not equal to. Imagine we have two values and we want to compare them together. For example, num1 is 5 and num2 is 8. Let's check if these variables were equal. Be careful, you cannot use single equal because the single equal is this assignment here and use when we want to define a variable. It means the value of 5 goes into variable num1. So double equals mean comparison and single equal means assignment. You can learn much more about variables in another video. Let's go to our example. As you can see, it returns false. Comparisons are going to return booleans, which are true false values. We will learn about booleans in future videos. Now, if you want to check if they weren't equal, we can use the exclamation point before the equal sign here. And if we run that, we can see that we got true, because these two variables are not equal. We also can check if num1 is greater than num2 by using the greater than sign. Let's run the program. We can see that we got false, which is right because 5 is not greater than 8. And if we want to check less than, we just need to print less than sign. So if we run the program, we got true. We can also use equal sign with greater than sign to see if the num1 is greater than or equal to num2. If we run the program, we can see that the answer is false. And if you want to check less than or equal, we can use equal sign with less than. And if we print that, we can see that we got true. Okay, now at the end of this video, let's talk about casting. You may see something that looks like a number, but actually it's a string, like these numbers here. These look like numbers, but they are not. Because of these quotations, these are strings. Not all strings are so obvious. For example, maybe we read these from a text file, or we got them from a website. A string is a sequence of characters. For example, the English language has 26 characters. Computers do not deal with characters, they deal with numbers, which means arithmetic operations are not executable on them. For instance, imagine we wrote a program and asked the user to input a number and we want to double that number. The input function allows a user to insert a value into the program. But don't worry if you are not familiar with this is not important right now. As you can see, we need to input a number and the program will double it for us. Let's run it. I put 10. You see the answer is 10, 10. Which we know it's not true. In fact, the program repeats the input number twice. So what is wrong? The problem is when we input a value by input function, the value will enter as a string. We can't do arithmetics on a string. We need to convert it to an integer or a float. For this purpose, we can use two functions called int or float. The int function returns the integer object from a float or a string containing digits. The float function returns a float point number from a number or a string containing digits with decimal point or scientific notation. As you can see, now the answer is 20, which is true. If you think this video was helpful, please support my hard work by liking and sharing with others. Thank you for watching this video.